Hey, in this video we will perform three operations. First is of course we'll create the application, a Spring Boot application, and map it to the our relational database using the ORM concept. Secondly, we'll create a table. We'll see how we can create a table using Hibernate. The the third one, which is last one, in this we will insert some data into our relational database. So let's start. Let's create a Spring Boot project. You can create from Spring Initializer. I am creating directly from my IntelliJ IDEA Ultimate. So let's name our project. It's a Spring Boot project, and let's name it to um, iPhone. Okay, iPhone app. Okay, and it will be saved here. Or we can say let's save it in. Uh, let's save it here. Okay. It's type of Maven. We'll use iPhone ORM, capital O. iPhone app, iPhone ORM, iPhone app. Version is latest. We'll use Java 22, packaging jar. Next, we'll use Spring Dev tool. Also, we need SQL connector or driver. We can say here is the SQL driver, and we need JPA data string JPA, and that's it. We are good to go. These three things you must add. If you create it, and it will take some time. I'll for like till then I'll just uh, pause this video and or we can wait. We can wait. So a Spring Boot application has been created successfully, I think. Let's try to run it. Of course, the application won't run because we haven't configured the SQL and our JPA. So let's shout here something. Let's shout here Spring, or you can say hi. Okay, let's if we run it, it will probably give you error. It must give you error, right? Because we haven't configured the database yet. So let's see. See here, it's saying that fail to configure data source. Of course, it's saying about database. If you embed database, you need to put it in class part. So let's let's go to our resource package in application.properties file, and let's start configuring the database. Let's configure it spring dot data source, and we'll tell the driver which we are using, spring dot data source. I will tell the username which is JDBC uh, MySQL localhost. We are using localhost, and the port number, I'm using the port number 3306, and um, let's see the database which we are using. So show database. If we have any empty database, MySQL ORM. So let's check the ORM. Select, or we can say use ORM, use ORM. Select mm, show tables. Okay, so we have two tables here, animal sequence, user sequence. Okay, so we can use ORM. So ORM, right? And now will we need username, right? Username. Username is root for my database. Spring dot data source. Password is spring boot. And now we will configure the Hibernate. Now for this we will say spring dot jpa, and we'll first of all we'll tell the DDL spring dot jpa dot hibernate DDL auto will make this update. So whenever we uh, try to run our program every time, it will automatically checks the structure of the database, or if there is an update, it can update it. Secondly, we need logs, right? We in console we need to see the how Spring or how Hibernate is creating the queries. So Spring dot JPA dot show SQL, make this true. And also we can tell the dialect, but the Spring Boot is smart. It doesn't need to. It automatically configure uh, the dialect. Dialect mean that which type of database we are using. So in this video, we're using the MySQL. So if someone is using Oracle or any other type of database, uh, the Spring Boot will automatically know that the which type of query Spring need to write, right? Because every database has their own type of query language or different type of dialect of their query language. So we can if spring.properties.hibernate.dialect. If we tell the dialect of SQL dialect is org dot uh, uh, let's check it on the internet. Um, Hibernate dot dialect dot mysql uh, dialect. I think this is the dialect. Let's just if it's not, we will search it on Google or in search browser. I think the first task is completed. Let's try to run it. Let's check if it's completed or not. Uh, okay, let's run it. Let's check if it's running properly or it's showing the error. Okay, it's worked properly. Our output is showing here Hibernate, and it's saying warning. It's logging a warning. It's saying that MySQL dialect does not need to be specified explicitly. Hibernate dialect. Remove the property setting, and it will be selected by default. It's telling that Hibernate. It's telling that Spring Boot is smart. It doesn't need to know the dialect. It will automatically configure it. So let's let's comment this out. We don't need it. No user. There is no use of it. So okay. So now the second part of the video, second task of the video is to create a table, right? So to create a table, we need to create a package here. Uh, let's name this package as entity or object entity, object entity, object entity, uh, or we can say entities only, entities. And in entities package, will create a Java class. Wait a second. Uh, a Java class. Let's name it as iPhone, or if we are using, I don't know. Project is iPhone. Okay, so let's create iPhone only. iPhones. Okay. So in this class, of course, let's make this class an entity class. Entity class. Also, let's make this class a table name. Let's give the class a table name. So entity annotation will tell Spring Boot that this whole class. is related to database. Okay, so it performs this functionality, some functionality of database, and will tell the its table also. Its table also. So in table we can give the name of table. If by default it will, if we don't give the annotation table, and if we don't provide a name, it will automatically choose the name of the class name only. So let's name it as I iPhones, or we can say uh, iPhones table. Okay, so it's giving the error. Let's see which type of error it's giving. It's saying the persistent entity iPhones should perform uh, primary key. Should have primary key. Okay, should have primary key. Okay, let's create a primary key. For the primary key is unique, and iPhone have a unique thing which is called their mm, tags, right? Some tags, or you can say mm, private int iPhone ID. Let's say iPhone ID for this. And private string iPhone name, private string iPhone color, private string iPhone color. So now we'll make this a primary key by saying ID here using annotation ID. Also, we can create a generated value, and in this we'll use strategy, and strategy will be generated type of auto, not auto, let's say increment, or we can say say auto. Okay. And we also make this a column also. It's a of course ID iPhone ID is a column in our table. So column, and column, let's give that column name as iPhone ID. Giving the error column. Okay, so we didn't say its name. Also we can provide no. We can provide the length. Let's provide the length. Let's provide the length 200, and here we can we should also use a column annotation, and in name part we'll say iPhone name, and in length we can say length has iPhone name length can be of 20, right? And let's say column, let's give this a name of iPhone color, and length iPhone color length can be of 10, right? So I think we have created enough. uh, Now we should use a constructor getter setter. Okay, so generate, let's create a parameterized constructor first, then a default constructor here, a default constructor. Also, we need getter setter for our next step. Generate getter setter, select all. We'll have the getter setters here, and here what we can do is generate a toString method. Implement toString method here. Okay, so now our table will be created. Let's try. Let's go here, and for now, if I show you, it's telling the, if I tell it show table, it's only two tables, animal sequence, user sequence. Let's create our table and run this program, and focus on the logs here. The You can see the logs here. Hibernate.create table iPhone table sequence. Uh, they've created iPhone table called iPhone table, and then it next element. Okay, I insert into table sequence. Okay, one. I don't think it has created the table now. Okay, so it has created the table. It has created iPhone table. Okay, so let's check uh, the table. So select select everything from iPhone table. Let's try to run it. Okay, iPhone tables. iPhone table. iPhones table. So you can see iPhone ID, iPhone color, iPhone name is showing. So now the third part is that we need to insert values here. For that, we what we can do is, first of all, we should create a repository, meaning that we need in that repository will mm, mm, let's uh, let's create a package first. Let's create a package called repository. Repository. Okay, in this repository, what we'll do is we'll create a iPhone repository interface. iPhone repository. iPhone repository, and here we'll just say extend and extend JPA repository. JPA repository, and here we'll need to provide JPA repository with two arguments. First is the entity name. Our entity name is, let's check the entity name which we have provided here, not here, here. So entity name, entity class name is iPhones. So let's go here and type entity and import this. Wait, import. We need to import the iPhones class, and here we need to provide the primary key data type. Primary key data type which we have provided in entity, which is of type int, right? So we'll tell it's integers int wrapper class. So we can't say int here. Of course, we need to provide the wrapper class of int, which is integer. So that's it. That's it for this class. We can implement this interface whenever we need to use its methods defined in JPA repository. So JPA repository, if we go in JPA repository and we go to list crude operations, uh, mm, crude repository, and we can see here the save method. So we can use the save method directly. Uh, so here we can see the save method. So okay, let's see. We can use the same method whenever we need it. Just we need to implement this interface, iPhone repository. So now we'll create the service and we'll implement this iPhone repository there so that we can use the same method. So we'll create another package called services. So services, and in services we'll create let's for okay. So we need to create multiple methods like for saving, for getting all the uh, data from the database, right? To delete something. So we need that class. So what we can do is we can create a interface first for loose coupling and implement that interface to our class, which is implementing the all these methods, save methods and other methods. So in services, we'll create another interface which is called uh, iPhone or iPhone impl, right? In this, what we can do is mm, mm, we can extend the, oh, we don't need to extend. What we can do is we just need to auto wire the not JP repository, iPhone repository here. So iPhone repository, iPhone repository. What we need to do is we need to auto wire it here. Okay. Then if we just say we need to extends iPhone repository, and here mm, we can give the methods like uh, iPhone uh, type of its type. So we'll say save iPhone, save iPhone, create class. Mm, let's do one thing. iPhones, right? iPhones dot get iPhone, not get iPhone. Okay, and in this we can send the iPhone dot iPhones. We can also say iPhones. We need all iPhones list. You can say list, import the list from Java util, and get get all iPhones. Uh, Great. Also, we can use void delete iPhone and iPhone ID. We can send iPhone uh, int iPhone number or iPhone ID. iPhone ID. Great. So to save iPhone, we'll use iPhone dot iPhones. So using this interface, we can use these methods into an implementation class. So let's create another package here in services. We'll create a package called mm, first of all, let's change the name of this interface. Refactor, rename. This is not implementation, this is iPhone services, right? And now we'll create the iPhone implementation here. iPhone impl, and here we'll create a Java class which is uh, iPhone impl class, and refactor this to iPhone, or we can refactor it to just impl class, just impl class. Okay, just impl package. So in here in this, what we have to do is we can extend, or we can implement the iPhone services, iPhone services, and implement its methods, all methods. Here, what we can do is we need the repositories interface, and we need the same method from JPA repository. So we need to implement this iPhone repository here in this class. So we can auto edit directly in Spring Boot. So let's say auto edit. It's called iPhone repository. iPhone repository. Let's auto edit. Okay, so it's not getting auto edit. Auto edit member must be defined in Spring Bean. Okay, let's make this. Okay, so service. Great. So we have auto add these iPhone repository. So now what we can do is we can say mm, iPhone iPhone repository dot save method, and in save method mm, we'll save the iPhones. Great. And iPhones, let's say iPhones repository saved iPhone. Okay. So now we can save that iPhone here. Saved iPhone. So let's check if it's working or not. We can go to iPhone application here, and what we have to do is mm, here we need to uh, implement the command line runner so that the methods will run before uh, the static main. So we'll use the command line runner and implement its run method. I don't know what have I done. We have to implement its methods. Yes, implement it. Okay, remove this. Here what you have to do is we need to um, we need an object of iPhone here. iPhone and iPhone, so you can say iPhone, new iPhone, and iPhone. We can call the method directly uh, iPhone dot set iPhone. ID is auto increment, so iPhone name. Let's give the iPhone name as iPhone 16 Pro Max. I don't know if it's real or not. iPhone dot set color. I think set color. Set color. Color will be yellow. And also now we need to use the same method, right? The same method is in the save iPhone. The save iPhone. So we need to here we need to what you have to do is we need to auto wire this iPhone service iPhone service. We need to auto wire it, auto wire, import this class, auto wire it, and now also now we can use it. Now we can iPhone service dot save method, save iPhone, and we'll save this iPhone. So iPhone, right? Also, what I have to do is mm, before or after this, I need a logger to check if it's working or not. So here I'll define a logger SL4J logger equals to logger factory dot get logger, and the class name, which is iPhone application dot class. So now I can use the logger here, logger dot info. I can write here iPhone saved saved to uh, database. iPhone save to database, iPhone, and I can tell the iPhone here. So I iPhone. Okay, so mm, I think everything is fine here. Let's go to our Impl class. Mm, Great. Let's try to run our program. Let's try to run our. It's starting. Okay, so you can see here, Hibernate has logged. Select next value. Okay, ID value from iPhone table. Okay, update iPhone table sequence set. Okay, insert here. You can see insert. It's inserting the values here. Insert color, name, iPhone ID. Right. So now let's check the database. Select everything from iPhone table and we can see yellow and iPhone 16 Pro Max. We can add another values to it. For example, let's say iPhone iPhone 13 Pro or color, and color is, let's say, red. Let's run this program again. It has inserted the new values, I think. So you can see iPhone ID is auto incrementing, but let's run this program again. Let's say mm, 14, only 14, and it's white. Run the program again, and you can see it's auto incrementing. So it doesn't mean that it will be in linear, right? So it can be any value, any random value. According to length, we have given the length as 200. So uh, it can give you any number, right? So I think that's it for the video. We have uh, first of all we have mapped to the SQL using Hibernate. Then we have created a table using Hibernate. Then we have inserted a value, inserted I think two values, iPhone color and iPhone name, to our database using Hibernate. So thank you for watching.